Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome to the first parallel session. I am Safna Anida Sekia and I will be the moderator and the timekeeper for the session. Ladies and gentlemen, the presentation is about to begin. There will be five presenters today, but now there's only three presenters. Uh, each presenters will be allocated 10 minutes to present the papers. I will remind you when it's already 8 minutes. If you have any problem with your screen share, please contact me through the chat box and I will share screen. And after all presenters present their papers, and I will lead you to the question and answer session. Okay, without further ado, I call upon the first presenters to present the paper. Miss Kartika Yoga Eka Pratiwinegara, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Safna. I will try to share my screen now. Please let me know if there is something trouble during my share screen. So it is shown as supposed to be or not? Okay, thank you very much. I will start my presentation regarding my research. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kartika Yoga Eka Pratiwinegara.
Morning.
I'm from SMP Negeri 1 Sukadana, Kayong Utara. I will present my, wait a minute. Okay, I will present my research entitled Aligning Teacher and Students' Perceptions on the Implementation of the Merdeka Curriculum in English Language Teaching in Kayong Utara. So the study will focuses on how both teachers and students perceive the implementation of the new curriculum and whether the teacher and students' views are aligned. So the Merdeka curriculums actually aims to give teachers more freedom and to foster student-centered learning. However, implementing it in underdeveloped areas like Kayong Utara, the place I was assigned as a teacher, faces many challenges, including limited resources and varying teacher preparedness. This research has two main goals. First, to explore the perceptions of both teachers and students, and the second is to identify if those perceptions are aligned or if there are some gaps. The guiding question for this research are, first, what are the perceptions of teachers and students toward the Merdeka curriculum, especially in English language teaching? And the second is, how well do those perceptions align? So this is a quantitative descriptive study involving 21 English teachers and 250 junior high students from grade 7 to 9. I use Likert scale questionnaires to measure 7 indicators such as clarity of instructions, engagement, assessment, and classroom atmosphere. During the research, the data was collected through online forms and analyzed using descriptive statistics and correlation tests. All responses were voluntary and anonymous, so I tried to ensure ethical research practices. What are the results? First, teachers generally had a positive view. They felt confident in instructional clarity and classroom atmosphere, but they felt less confident in how effective their teaching methods were. Second, from students' perspective, they also had positive perceptions. They appreciated clear instructions and useful feedback, but somehow they felt that the learning materials were not always relevant and they were not encouraged enough to be independent. So we can see that both groups agreed that the instructions was clear and that the classroom atmosphere was positive and engaging. The misalignment areas are found from the teachers and students' perceptions, where teachers tended to underestimate how effective their methods and feedback were. On the other hand, they overestimated how independent students were and how relevant the materials felt to them. So this shows the importance of two-way communications. First, students feel supported, but at the same time, teachers are unsure if their methods are effective. So reflection and feedback from students can help teachers adjust their practices in daily classroom activities. The findings or the implication of this research suggests that we need more targeted teacher training, especially in assessment and building student autonomy. Listening to students more actively can help teachers improve their approach. Regarding challenges in underdeveloped areas, first, in regions like Kayong Utara, limited resources. The second, like high teacher turnover. And the third, cultural diversity add extra problems of complexity to implementing any new curriculum. So from this research, I recommend strengthening professional learning communities, providing continuous development and adapting materials to local contexts to make the curriculum more relevant and practical. In conclusion, both teachers and students have positive views of Merdeka curriculum, but there are important gaps in perceptions. So for successful implementation, we need alignment, regular reflection, and support tailored to local needs. The future research that can be done could include classroom observations, longer-term studies, and a deeper look into how local contexts affect curriculum success. So I would like to thank to all the teachers, students, and institutions who contributed to this study. That's all my presentations. Thank you very much. I give it back to the moderator.
Okay, thank you for the gorgeous presentation, Miss Kartika Yoga Eka Prativinegara, for the presentation. Okay, now I call upon the second presenter, but sorry to Sir Ivan Riza Auladi, apakah berkenan untuk diganti di sesi ketiga karena ini ada yang mau digantikan di sesi kedua? Okay, thank you. Okay, now I call upon the second presenter, Miss Nurul Shafika. The time is yours.
Okay, thank you so much for your kindness to understand my conditions now. Before I want to inform for all of you, I'm pregnant now, and okay, first I will share my screen. Okay, can you all of you see my slide here? Wait. Okay, I will ask again. My screen already shown.
Yes.
Oke, baik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for the moderator to give me a chance being a second speaker today. Okay, here my name is Nurul Shafika. I'm from University Negeri Jakarta, and here my title is about trends in human literacy in English foreign language assessments, where is an alternative for future learning and a systematic review. Then for the first is the introduction. The rise of human literacy. As we know, human literacy is a growing trend focused on developing human attitudes and reflective self-regulation. It emphasizes the ability to communicate humanly and foster good communication. This approach views students as individuals with freedom to choose their learning paths and promoting critical and creative thinking through meaningful experiences. And then in human literacy, humanizing education, there are 3 points: humanizing humans, critical and creative thinking, and the last is social development. Where humanizing humans is a learning approach that empowers students to choose their educational journey, and the critical and creative thinking foster innovative though through meaningful learning experiences. And then the social development helps students develop social attitude and cooperation, whereas they have to work team and recognizing humans as social creators. And then for the integrating human literacy in English foreign language assessment, the key is challenge is integrating human literacy value into English as a foreign language or EFL assessment. Previous research highlights its role in developing humanist and critical thinking skill through assessment. This requires examiners to consider how these competency values can be included in English foreign language student evaluations, making an in-depth examination crucial for future language learning. And then for the methodology, is a systematic literature review. This study employs a systematic literature review, we call it SR, to synthesize scientific evidence on human literacy assessment. The search span by Eric, Google Scholar, Open Knowledge, Lens.org, and connected papers from 2004 to 2023. The process involved planning, identifying needs, research questions, protocol, and then for the conducting is study selection, data extraction, analysis, and reporting. And then here, the search process and criteria. Such process is a systematic research using keywords as my title, human literacy and English foreign language assessment, and then for the alternative feature learning. And then here, in main indexing database via GOI, recording and categorizing scholarly articles, and then inclusion and exclusion criteria data period 2030-2023. The source is from Google Scholar, published or Paris, and etc. And then for the content, journal papers related to human literacy, English foreign language assessment, and alternative future learning. Okay, and here we can see the finding of publication trends. Here I took it from the Google Trends data from 2004 until 2023 shows an initial increase in human literacy research. But the interesting thing is has declined since November 2011 and Google Scholar Search 2030 and until 2023 yield 48 publications with 23 having GOIs. The most publication were in 2018 for 7 and 2023 for 8. Okay, and then in human literacy value factors in assessment, there are 5 points: comprehensive literacy skills, understanding context and culture, critical thinking and reasoning, creativity and innovation, and collaboration and communications. So here, actually, in human literacy, still talk about culture and how they're assessing effective teamwork and idea sharing and information presentation. In comprehensive literacy skills, they are evaluating reading, writing, listening, and speaking, including understanding diverse text. That is, and then for the conclusion of this, shaping future learning. The study investigate human literacy trends in English foreign language assessment, identifying 23 relevant publications from 2030 until 2023. It highlights the importance of integrating human literacy for future learning. Here focusing on comprehensive literacy, cultural understanding, and critical thinking, then collaboration. Okay, for the future research and limitation, you can see that from the slide, the limitation of the study was the challenges in collecting comprehensive human literacy data in English foreign language assessment, particularly due to the publication date range 2013 until 2023. Future research is suggested to further explore human literacy to contribute more to the EFL field. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you so much for your attention.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Nurul Shafika, for your insightful presentation. I really appreciate the detailed analysis you've provided. Okay. Okay, now I call upon the third presenter, Mr. Ivan Reza Auladi. The time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much for the chance. So let me share the slide. Okay, honorable moderator and also distinguished participant in this conference. So my topic is in line with the previous speaker from Ms. Kartika, also Ms. Nurul. It is about curriculum, independent curriculum, and also for the assessment. So in the beginning, we understand that Indonesia curriculum is not just a teaching guideline, but also tools for educational policy. So the curriculum's revisions, it happens starting in the beginning of Independence Day, 1947, then changed many times until the last curriculum is independent curriculum, or we call it as emancipated curriculum. And this curriculum is emphasize the teacher authority and also the communicative learning and also school-based assessment. So we abolish any kind of national exam and establish a school-based assessment. And there are many challenges in the implementation of emancipated curriculum. There's low teacher confidence and a lack of resources. So that's the most common finding from the research of emancipated curriculum. And it highlights the independent learning, critical thinking, and also communicative learning. So there is a gap between policy and the classroom reality. So this is the conceptual study. So I will not present for the result of finding, but it's like still in the conceptual study. Then the scope of study focus on English language teaching and so assessment. So try to understand with the impact of emancipated curriculum, how it changes the method, the teacher's method in the class, and also try to find how they establish the assessment, because the assessment is conducted by the teacher themselves. And the participants here is the teachers and also students of senior high schools, and try to find their perceptions and also try to identify the change and also direction for the emancipated curriculum. And the methods is qualitative, to try to find with the several instrument from qualitative data collection. And then the area is teaching strategies, assessment tool, and also the method. The objective here is to reveal perception from the teachers and the students how the change of curriculum will affect their activity in the classroom. And also it will explore in the impact of curriculum change on teaching and assessment. So the significance of the study, it contains four the studies, theoretical studies, methodological studies, practical and also pedagogical studies. And in the theoretical study, try to add to the knowledge on ELT and reform, and also the methodological study. Try to display the use of qualitative study in the model of identifying the curriculum change. In the practical, it will give practical guidance for the teachers and so a suggestion for the policymakers in the consideration of revising the curriculum. Then the pedagogical, it try to identify the classroom and assessment challenges. So the novelty focus on the perception and so classroom dynamics, and the new insight is we have school-based assessment and try to find how is the condition of the curriculum in the post-pandemic reform. Then the literature review from the curriculum change. So the success of a curriculum, it depends on the adaptability from the teacher and the students. Even the curriculum is has been guidelined by the government. They provide any kind of blueprint and also the technical guideline, but it still rely on the adaptability from the teacher and also the student. Then the positive impact is try to increase the quality of educations because we understand that in the curriculum we will find the weaknesses and try to revise and replace with the new curriculum. Then it will elevate the competence not only from for the teachers in the teaching, but also in the way they can create evaluation. And in the negative side, so if we have a new thing, so we have to learn the new ideas, the new method that replace our habitual action. So when the teacher, they have a new thing, they have to learn how to establish the new curriculum, how they learn with the new thing, and also apply in the classroom. So it also may impact with the student achievement. Maybe it will be lower than before because they have to try to understand with the curriculum, also the standard of the achievement. And also the gap between the policy goal and so the result, because the policy, it talks about the general ideas and also expectation from the target curriculum, but we have to understand that the real practice in the school will be different with the policy goals. Then the research review, we have diverse students and also limited resources. That's the challenge of English language teaching and the lack of confidence and facility issues. There is a common obstacle in the class. And also we shift from a traditional into authentic assessment. Then the teacher, they respond from the many studies that express that the perception or the thing that the teacher say is the curriculum change is most positive. And the challenge is the limited time and also the complexity of assessment, because in the past we only have multiple choices, but now the teacher, they should create the assessment that contains short answer and also with the multiple choices that is different than before. Then the students, they have a moderate positive views. And this is
2 more minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. And the theoretical foundation from the curriculum and so change theory and social cultural theory. And also it refers to the constructivist theory from Paget and so Ellis. And then theoretical foundation, so there is alignment between curriculum and assessment. So it bonding into one thing that if the curriculum changes, that it will affect the curriculum. But if curriculum change, it also affect the assessment. Okay, the methodology here is interpretive. We use qualitative study, and the site is in high schools from the teacher and also the students. And the collection data, it use interviews, FGDs, observation, and document review. Okay, from the perception, I use interview for the teachers, but I use FGDs for the students. And impact, try to find in the real application. So I consider to use classroom observation on trying to evaluate their documents, their book, their reference. Okay, and ethics, program from the school and also university. Then there's the assumption that emancipated curriculum gives significant reform in the post-pandemic era, but it also there is a gap between the policy and the classroom realities. That the thing that I want to find through this conceptual study. That's my presentation. Thank you very much for listening to my explanation. Hope you enjoy the slide. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum. Thank you so much for the presentation, Mr. Ivan Reza Auladi, for a great presentation. It's interesting to see how curriculum changes are impacting teaching and assessment in Indonesia. Okay, now I call upon the fourth presenter, Miss Yuti Yuniarti. The time is yours.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here today to present my research on innovative pathway in English curriculum development. This study explores the vital role of language curriculum development in enhancing language proficiency and communication skills in a rapidly globalizing world. Although there have been advancements in educational theories, and there's still a gap between theory and practice, particularly in integrating innovative study method. And this research evaluates contemporary approaches such as communicative language teaching, task-based language teaching, and the integration of digital tools into the English language curriculum. Let's dive into the key findings and implication of this study. Okay, so this is my title, Innovative Pathways in English Curriculum Development, created by me from the University of Muhammadiyah Bandung. Okay, so this slide gives an overview of the study, of course, which investigates the gap between theoretical advancement and classroom practices in English curriculum developments. It explores innovative methods like CLT, communicative language teaching, and then TBLT, task-based language teaching, and digital tools to enhance language learning. Okay, so the objective of my study are threefold. The first is to investigate innovative pathway in English curriculum development. The second one is to evaluate the effectiveness of contemporary teaching approaches. And the last one is to address the gap between theory and classroom practices. Okay, so this research is based on Vygotsky's sociocultural theory and presence input hypothesis, emphasizing the importance of social interaction and comprehensible input for language acquisitions. The study shifts from behaviorist method to more communicative and task-based approaches. And I use a mixed method approach involving both quantitative and qualitative data. Tools included teacher questionnaires, student surveys, and student surveys, interview, and curriculum document review. Participants were curriculum developers, teachers, and students. And here's the finding from teacher questionnaires indicate that 80% of teachers use CLT, 60% use TBLT, and 90% incorporate digital tools in their classrooms. However, blended learning and flipped classroom were less commonly implemented. And this the key findings from student survey that 80% of students reported an improvement in speaking skills, and 88% felt that digital tools enhance their learning experience. Overall, the satisfaction rating for the new curriculum was 4.2 out of 5. And here, the teachers' interviews revealed challenges such as lack of resources, insufficient training, and resistance to change. However, CLT and TBLT increase student engagement and shows positive result. Okay, so the analysis of current curriculum revealed significant deficiencies such as outdated method and limited use of digital tools, and the emphasis is often on grammar and vocabulary, neglecting creativity and critical thinking. The research suggests that CLT and TBLT have a significant impact on student engagement and language proficiency. However, blended learning faces challenges, and there is a clear need for curriculum flexibility, teacher training, and better resource allocation. In conclusions, integrating innovative methods such as CLT, TBLT, and digital tools, is essential for development of effective English curricula. The study highlights the barriers of full implementation, but it emphasizes the need for teacher training and investment in infrastructure. Though based on the findings, practical implications include curriculum reforms to incorporate student-centered approaches like CLT and TBLT, continuous teacher training, and investment in digital tools and infrastructure. For future research, I recommend conducting longitudinal studies on the long-term impact of innovative teaching methods, comparative studies across different educational contexts, and further explanation of blended learning and flipped classroom. Okay, so thank you for your attention. I hope this presentation has provided you with valuable insight into the challenges and opportunities of integrating innovative teaching methods into English curriculum development. As we continue to evolve in our educational practices, it is crucial to bridge the gap between theory and real-world teaching application. I look forward to question and any further discussion to the topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Yuti Yunarti, for your great presentation. The innovative ideas you shared for developing the English curriculum are very interesting. Okay, next, now I call upon the fifth presenter, Mr. Sumartono, Magister Pendidikan. The time is yours.
Well, thank you. Let me check my voice. Is it clear from you, Bu Safina? Is it clear, my voice?
It's clear.
Clear, okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for Bu Safina as the moderator, and also the insightful presentation from the previous presenters. Let me continue the presentation here, and let me send my slide first, Bu Safina. Is it okay, Bu? Is it invisible, Bu?
Yep, sir.
Well, this is my topic that I would like to present about the in-service teachers' reflection on the implementations of problem-based learnings in the teacher professional education program at Universitas Pansagi Tegal. And of course, that I choose this topic. It is based on my experience when I taught this kind of program, and based on my experience, that most of the teachers in education, in teacher professional education program, they mostly choose this kind of teaching approach, problem-based learning. Yeah, so I would like to investigate what happened on them here, and this is my sorry. Yeah, this is the background here. Sorry. The implementations of problem-based learning in professional education program for teacher has gained significant attention, due to its potential to enhance reflective teaching practices and improve instructional effectiveness, And why? I have tried to find the answer there because this kind of teaching approaches, become a kind of the potential issue because it consists of the sequential stages. Like the first is the teacher needs to orient the students to the problem, and also the second is organize students for study. And also the next is assess independent group and investigation. And the fourth is develop and present the artifact and exhibit. And finally, teacher analyze and evaluate the problem solving process. So this kind of processes, according to me, is very interesting to be explored, as the kind of the teaching learning approach here. The next is about the goal here. The first is that this study is hopefully to bridge the gap by exploring the in-service teachers' reflections on the implementation of problem-based learning in Indonesia's teachers' professional education or PPP program. And second is this study is hope to contribute to growing body of literature on PBL in teacher education by offering empirical evidence on in-service teachers' perspective. And number three is provide valuable insight to policymakers and educators seeking to refine professional development program to support reflective teaching practices better. And the last one is it is expected to enhance the teacher training methodologies to ensure that educators are well equipped to foster critical thinking and problem-solving skills in their students. They are the goals of my study. And the benefits, the first that the study can provide empirical evidence on in-service teachers' perspective. And second is it is hopefully to contribute to the growing body of literature on PBL in teachers' education by offering empirical evidence on in-service teachers' perspective. And the last benefit of the study is it offers a practical recommendation for enhancing PBL implementation in teacher training, addressing barriers, such as limited resources, inadequate mentorship, and varying levels of digital readiness. The kind of methodology that I choose in my research, that the study employed qualitative research design. And the second is that I choose 3 in-service teachers as the participant of my research coming from the various school, from different school here. And the sampling technique I use pervasive sampling to select in-service teachers with varying levels of experience in PBL. And the kind of data I collected the data through semi-structured interviews, classroom observation, and also reflective journals. And thematic analysis was employed to identify recurring themes and patterns in the data involving transcribing and reviewing, coding, and also synthesizing. And for the findings, because I choose 3 in-service teachers, Okay, I have three finding, yeah, coming from the three participants. What I investigate is how they present their benefits and also challenges and also solution and also follow-up plan, yeah, and okay, during the implement problem-based learning. And the first participant and the benefit here is that PBL can increase the student happiness, activeness, and also enthusiasm and cooperation, also critical thinking. It is come the benefit. Yeah. And after I present the benefit, I investigate the benefit. Of course, that I also tried to find what challenges actually they face when they use this kind of teaching approach. The first is about the challenges. Yeah, of course, the PBL consume too much time here. Yeah, so the first is about the time constraint, and also sound audio quality, misspelling in writing using the chain writing method. And the next is what solution that they use when they have this kind of challenges. Yeah, of course that the first participant present the time management and then ensure the teaching devices readiness. It deals with the audio quality here, and also the result discussion here, and misspelling peer assessment. And according to the participant, that peer assessment is very effective because they evaluate each other, yeah, among the participant here. And then the follow-up plan, yeah. And the next day, manage to manage the time here and also make on video, because by making on video, of course, that they can make the better quality of video to be the references, and also carry on the various in teaching writing activities. This is the first finding. Second is the second finding, yeah, coming from the participant too. And the benefits, that the increase of student activeness, independence, motivation, social interaction, learning, engagement, and provide real teaching for developing writing skill. And the challenges they find when they implement this kind of approach, teaching approach, that the challenges lies on the designing classroom activities using PBL. According to the participant, that is kind of a problem because this kind of teaching approach consists of the very complex sequential stages, yeah, like what I have explained before here. And the solution here that the plan learning carefully and also ensure that the integration of learning objectives, activities, and also assessment, and also utilize technology. And that's the solution that they use. And the follow-up plan is to conduct a comprehensive evaluations of student learning outcomes, review student achievement, conceptual understanding, and progress in developing targeted skill. And also the last is collect feedback from students on PBL.
2 more
And
minutes.
okay, thank you. This is the findings of participant data. I think it is similar, yeah. I mean, it deals with their motivation and their activeness and the engagement in class and so on. And the next is about discussion here. The implementation of PBL in classroom is reflected in experiences of our research participant, has demonstrated several benefit, challenges, and necessary follow-up action to emphasize the student learning. And its participant observed that PBL fosters student engagement, enhances critical thinking, and encourages active participation in discussion. And overall, the participant experiences highlight the effectiveness of PBL in promoting student engagement in critical thinking. The successful teaching and learning process depends on overcoming time management, technical and participation challenges through strategic planning, continuous evaluation, adaptive teaching method. And the next is for the conclusion. Sorry. The reflections of university teachers and implementations of PBL in PBG program highlight both the advantages, challenges, and of the instructional approach. The findings indicate that PBL fosters student engagement, critical thinking, and active learning, contributing to a more dynamic classroom environment. The reflections of in-service teachers on PBL implementation underscore its potential to enhance student learning by fostering critical thinking, collaboration, and engagement. However, successful execution requires careful planning, effective time management, adaptability, and addressing technical and pedagogical challenges. And finally, by integrating continuous reflection, professional development, and innovative teaching strategies, educators can minimize the benefits of PBL and contribute to improvements of overall education system. Well, this is my short presentation. Thank you for the moderators.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sumartono, for your informative presentation. Let's call the sixth presenter, Ms. Dwi Handayani. Okay, the time is yours.
Okay. Wait, let me share my presentation here. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Moderator Kak Safna and all of the presenters here. My name is Dwi Handayani, and I'd like to present about my article entitled Classroom Discourse in Indonesian EFL Settings, an ERF-based interactional analysis. So here the study employs the initiations response feedback or IRF model, originally proposed by Sinclair and Coulthard in 1975, and to analyze how teacher-students interaction either facilitate or hinder communicative competence. And here, as we know that as an English language student and researcher, here I'm to highlight both of the strengths and the limitation of current practice in Indonesian higher educations. Okay, here about the background of the study. Here, classroom discourse is not just about talking in class. It is the very environment where learners acquire communicative skills, and the IRF model, initiation, response, and feedback, has been widely used to structure classroom interactions. And however, in Indonesia, classes often remain teacher-dominated. So students respond only when prompted, and opportunities for spontaneous communication are scarce. I mean. Okay. Here about the research gap. Existing studies such as Indonesian EFL classrooms are still dominated by teacher and with students producing short formulaic answer, and but higher education contexts remain underexplored. Moreover, while code switching has been recognized as a teaching strategy, so its effect on immersion hasn't been sufficiently examined, and also most studies mention evaluate feedback, but the role of elaborative feedback encouraging students to think and self-correct remains overlooked. Okay, here about the research objective, the study examined teacher-student interaction pattern in the three Indonesian EFL lecture classes into universities, and evaluate how they influence authentic second language discourse. Okay, the research here has 4 objectives. For the first is to describe the application of IRF and to see how teachers adapt or deviate from this model. And the third is to explore the role of the first language in teaching. And finally, to assess to assess how these patterns influence student engagement and communicative competence. Yeah. For the methods here, the study used a qualitative case study approach, enabling a deep exploration of authentic classroom practices, and data were collected from 3 different universities, 2 different universities, and covering diverse teaching styles, and observation were complemented by teacher interviews, which offered insight into the reasoning for using IRF and their reliance on code switching and their feedback strategies. Here, the thematic coding was applied to highlight a recurring discourse pattern. Okay, this is the finding of IRF patterns. Here, teachers overwhelmingly overwhelmingly, control discourse through close-ended question. For example, when teacher asks active or passive, so students simply replied active. Another asks which economy is stronger, the US or China, so the student answer with a single word China. These responses show limited student accuracy. Feedback was also teacher dominated errors corrected directly or without prompting students to reflect or elaborate. And here about the finding code switching and feedback. Code switching, all three teachers that research in this article use code switching frequently, often referring to Indonesian or Javanese. So while this clarified meaning, it reduces exposure to English, limiting fluency. Limiting fluency opportunities, and similarity feedback was mostly evaluated, for instance, for example, correct, good, or wrong, try again. So elaborate feedback, where students are asked to explain why something is right or wrong. So was rare, and this limited critical thinking and self-corrections. And here about the challenges in participant. Across the three classrooms, students rarely volunteered answer. Many avoided eye contact or deferred to other, and teachers often had to call names at random to elicit participants. Teachers also reported that the post-COVID students had weaker grammar knowledge, making it even harder than for them to engage in the discussions. Okay, but the theoretical discussion in this article, I use Hofstede in 1988, Carson, Tournier, and Walsh, and this finding resonate with established theories. So for Hofstede reminds us that in high power distant culture like Indonesia, shouldn't expect teachers to lead, limiting autonomy. And for Krashen's effective filter hypothesis explain why fear or mistakes reduce input processing, and Tourney emphasized the role of confidence and motivation and willingness to communicate. And for Walls highlight that interactive strategies such as open-ended questioning and it can break the cycle of silence. Okay, for the implication for teaching here, this study calls for a pedagogical shift that the teacher must reduce their dominance and encourage student-led interactions. So practical methods include open-ended question, peer collaboration, and communicative activities like debates. And for a code switching should be strategic, used only for complex explanation. And finally, elaborate feedback must be prioritized, and pushing students to self-correct and expand their responses. Yeah. But the conclusion, conclusion here, while the IRF model structures classroom talk, its rigid application in Indonesian EFL setting has reinforced teacher dominance and restricted learner autonomy. So here, excessive of code switching further limits immersion, while evaluative feedback reduces opportunities for deeper engagement. To promote communicative competence, a teacher must transition towards interactive, participatory, and student-centered practice. Okay, this is the reference, and thank you for the time. And back to the moderator, Kak Safina. Time is yours. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for Ms. Dwi Handayani for your insightful presentation. It was interesting to learn about that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have 6 presenters today that have done the insightful material. Now it's time for the question and answer session. I give the time for the audience to ask question for the presenters, and you may ask to the presenters directly, and it's also possible for a presenter to ask other presenters. Okay, please keep in the short question. Thank you. Feel free to raise hand.
Everything is clear, I think.
There's no more questions, sir.
Or we will discuss about it later in a long time, maybe, but Safina, because this is a short time to explain.
I think it's enough for today. This is the end of the first parallel session. I congratulate you all for having been successfully presenting the papers. And after this, all presenters and participants, please have a break until 12:30 p.m. Let me repeat, 12:30 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Kak Safna.
See you.
Thank you so much.
See you, sir.
Should we move to the main rooms or it
You
can
may
be?
leave, ma'am. Yeah, you may
Okay.
leave. Thank you.
Thank you.